So once you have a new project, and we're going to be starting project 2, you should be able, at the top right hand corner, verify that you're in the right project that you're supposed to be working on. So right, we're on P2, username. And what we're going to be making for this week is we're going to be adding collectible things, and just like the flag where we did collision, for this one we're gonna, make it disappear and count how many we have, and then do some logic when we have the number that we need. So what we're gonna need first to do is to create an object. So what I'm gonna do is open up my content drawer and go to my gen stuff where I had it before, and I need to put I want to create a new blueprint. So I'm going to right click and go to blueprint class, and I'm just going to make another actor. Again, actors are any objects that we're going to place in our system, and I'm going to call it blueprint underscore bolt. And you could call it whatever you want. It's just important that you recognize that my name is Bolt. Yours can be anything you want. I'm going to actually make it a bolt. So I'm going to double click this, and it's going to open up in a new window. And I'm going to add a plane. And I'm going to move it around a little bit. Just because, what we look at right here is kind of how it's going to be when we put it on the screen, so I don't have to change it every time. I'm just going to kind of modify. I'll leave it at the default location there. So so that is the plane, and that's going to show us our device, and I guess I renamed it, so we're just going to rename this plane. We're back to plane. And so this is our item. Again, it's always good to compile and save selected. Now we want a texture, and what I want to do is, and you'll find this in the Moodle shell in the project area if you want to download it, but I already moved one into my file here that's called Bolt, right? So I just put it inside the same folder as my directory. You can put it anywhere you want. I just find it helpful to put it where I easily can find the file that I want. And this is just if I double click it and you can look to see what it is, it's just a bolt of lightning. I kind of have a theme going with like Ty the Titan, because he carries a bolt. And then I'm going to click and drag this into, alright, I need to open my content drawer. And then I can click and drag this into my content drawer. And so you can kind of see, like over here it has like a red circle and won't let me paste it, but if I have it over here, it has, it's fine. And so you can notice that it added it to my list of files. And if I go back into here and I would go look at our content drawer and we look at gen stuff, you're going to see I now have like the bolts U asset and the BP flag asset. So that's just those two, but I don't have this texture. So texture, from my understanding, is kind of like paint. And what we need is the material, right? We need to have what it's going to actually be doing it. So like it's the paint color, and then what we want is the actual paint. So we want to create the material that we're going to be painting with. And you'll see, so now instead of a texture, we now have a material that goes along with it. And you can just leave it called Bolt Matte, that's fine. Now that we have our material, we could go add it to our blueprint. So we're going to come back up here into our BP underscore bolts. And we're going to click on the item, right? This is the plane that we were making. And on the right hand side under details pane, one of the things should be called materials. And so this is what we're going to do, is click on this. And as long as you named it something that was unique, we can easily go find it. So just typing in bolt helps, right? I can find the material that I want, and I click on that. And now you're going to notice that it updated the image to have the bolt on it. So I'm going to hit File, I'm going to save all, compile, and then I'm going to just take this one item I made, and I'm the blueprint, right? So the texture, again, just the paint. The material is the actual material that we're going to put on the object, and then the bolt, the blueprint class, is what we actually want to put into our environment. So we're just going to click and drag this out into our environment. We can move it around. And so now when we come out here and we look, we can see we have this object in here. And now that we have the object, in the next video, I'll show you how we can edit that object to make it a little nicer. We're gonna make sure that it has a clear background, right? The black goes away, and we're gonna make it spin and do a few other fun things. So see you in the next video.